Hi, this is the first tutorial for Year 6 with their project The Birds. I'm going to remind you just of a couple of little things that you need to know when you're starting up. Now then, if you are having to log in for the first time, you would have logged in and reached your main screen. Mine has this different background to yours. But you'll need to go to Settings, which is this little icon off the bottom of your screen, called System Preferences, the one with a little cog. And then you'll need to go to your mouse and change this secondary click. You need to have both of these settled. On a one of the older ones, you'll need to have the right hand option selected to secondary button. You'll see when you go there that there'll be a left hand one that says primary button and then a right hand one that says secondary. You need to change that to secondary. It's a little bit different on the older machines. Then if you haven't got Logic Pro like I have down here in my desktop, then you'll need to go to the top right hand side, this Q, click on Q, and then just type in LOG into there. It will find Logic Pro, and then it will give you a little icon like this, which you'll then need to click and hold and drag it onto your desktop and drop it onto the desktop. The little things will make space for it, and then you'll have Logic Pro ready. I'm not going to do that because I've already got it on mine. So when you've got Logic Pro, you open up Logic Pro. If it doesn't seem to do anything, then you'll need to go to File and either open Recent and use one of your recent files, or you'll go to New. When you go to New, you'll be offered using software instruments, audio tracks, drama track. We're going to use software instruments, and we're going to have excuse me, 3 of those. So you'll type 3 on your keyboard and create. Now the next thing you need to do is just to know that up here is the other zooms. This is the vertical one, which gives you a bit more, so you can see a little bit more. And over this side we have the library. So the left hand side, these are the categories, and then within each one there are several instruments. So the top one I'm going to leave on classic electric piano. The second one I'm going to put a bass sound, so I click bass here, and then I quite like this Stinger bass, but choose one of the basses that you like the sound of. And then I'm going to click here to select the third track, and I'm going to get a drum kit, and I'm going to choose this retro rock one. Okay, so it's our drum track that I'm going to be concerned with for the moment, and I'm going to make a jazzy drum pattern. So here we go. I'm going to move my cursor to 3 because that's where I'm going to start my pattern, and then when I'm finished it, which is going to be 4 bars long, I'm going to move it. When I've finished that and my tracks, my piano part and my bass part, I'm then going to move it all back to the beginning, because when I load in my film, my movie, it's going to start at bar 1. So here we go. I'm going to start by selecting the drum track, and then I'm going to just get a keyboard up so you can see what I'm doing. Now then, here's your keyboard, and to do a drum track you're going to use, let me just find that note. So this note here, this C, is the very bottom note of your keyboard. In fact, if I did it like this, it would look like your keyboard. So this note here, and the one next to it is the snare drum. So bass drum, snare drum. There's a little bit of a delay on my keyboard, so I'm going to have to go and tidy my not very good playing up later. So next thing is you'll need to get your sequencer to go, your Logic Pro to go your speed. So you click here, you get the tempo track, and I would move it down to something like 108. Move this little button. It's quite tricky to get it to go exactly where you want, and that means that your click, when you turn it on using this, is going to be like this. Alright, so it goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. The 1 has a slightly louder click. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. And you're going to play in time with that. If you want that louder, then you need to right click here, go to metronome settings and turn it up a bit. Don't turn it up too loud because it will blow your head off. I'm going to play it a little bit, make it a bit louder. Here it is a bit louder. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to play the bass drum, which is this bottom note, and the snare drum. Bass drum on beat 1 and snare drum on beat 2, on beat 3. So 1 and 3. So you press record. 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3. And now I've ended up with 4 bars. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 bars of not very well in time playing. So I'll double click on here and that will open up my editor. Then I need to select all of these because they're all a little bit late. Can you see? Look, here's an actual beat and they're a bit after the beat. And then I'm going to do what's called quantizing these. Now somehow I seem to not have the quantize thing. Perhaps it's not quite big enough. So this shows me what notes I've played. And now the quantize thing is here, but I need to select 8th note and then press this Q. And it should move everything very much closer to the beat. There we are. So they're all on the beat now. So that's working well. And then I'm going to use this to make my jazziness. So I'm going to go back to here. Now, to make another track of exactly the same kind of track that you've got, let me just get rid of this. To duplicate this track, I'm going to press on my keyboard Command D. And that will duplicate exactly that track. Or you could go to track, new tracks, create one more track, and then find the retro rock sound and just load it in like that. But Command D duplicates and gives you another track. And now I'm going to, having done this one, I'm now going to add in this note, and I'm going to show you this on a video as well. So I'm going to use this key. It's the 7th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th black note from the bottom. And you're going to play this rhythm. Da, 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 da. So I'm going to record that. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. And then I press stop. Okay, let's have a look at that. So I'm going to go and find where that is. There it is. Now you can see it's all a little bit late, so I'm just going to move it back in time. Just sort of move it back to the beginning of the bar. That should be a little bit better in time now. Let's see. Okay, that should be fine now. I quite like that. So that'll be your jazzy drum backing. Now, what we need to do is to copy that from there. So what you do is you select those two like that. You hold down Alt on your keyboard like this, and then you drag and drop it, and then you let go Alt or Option. It's this key here. Remember, to slide between other screens, you need to press Control and then your left and right arrow key, which is a bit further along. So I'm going to hold down Control and then this one, that flips me on the screen sideways to another screen and then back again. So you can run the tutorial on one of those screens, on the other screen, and then flip back and forth. Okay, so next we need to add some chords to this. So here we go. This is how you play chords. So on my keyboard, okay, I'm going to move my camera up a little bit more. So on my keyboard, I'm going to select a keyboard sounding thing. Now, to play a chord, what you need to do is you need to choose C, I suggest, and then you need to leave one out and play the next note, and then leave one out and play the next note. So it's this shape. All your chords are going to be this shape. So you're going to play this as your first chord, and then we're going to move up one, and we're going to choose this as your second chord, and then we're going to move up two, and we're going to choose this one as your third chord, and then we're going to go up one and choose this one as your fourth chord. You might want to go like this, chord one, then the second chord like this, and your third chord like this, and your fourth chord like this. But I'd really like you to play first chord based on this one, second one based on this one, third one based on this one, fourth one based on this one. So here we go. I'm going to record 2 bars of each in time with my jazzy backing track. So here you go. I'm going to press record. Second chord. Third chord. Fourth chord. And then I'm going to stop. Okay, so again, I'm just going to correct that. So I'm going to double click. I don't need to, it's already selected. And I'm going to just move it so it's in time a little bit more. There we go. And then my bass part, I'm going to do the same sort of thing. Now, here's the shape of the first chord, and your bass part is going to consist of only one note, not 3. And it's in each chord, it's going to be the bottom note of the chord. So here on the screen, you're going to play this note. Here, you're going to play the bottom note of the second chord, which is here. And this one is going to be the bottom note of this chord here. And this one is going to be the bottom note of this chord, which is here. But instead of playing them in the middle of the keyboard, I'm going to go lower down. And I think I'm going to play them here. So here we go. Now I'm recording the bass part. So I press record. And stop. Now again, I'm going to have to just repair that. Where are they? Here we go. Need to zoom in a little bit so I can see all my notes. I've missed the bottom ones. Okay, so I've selected them all, and I'm just going to move them back a tiny bit to be now. So, and there is my jazzy backing. So I've consisted of playing a snare drum on beats 1 and 3. On this track, I've used this cymbal sound. On this track, I've played my piano sounds in the middle of the keyboard, just a bit further up, like this, using that shape of chord. Emails just come in. And then on this track, I've played my bass part, not right down here. This is a bit too muddy and low. It needs to be sort of here, using the bottom notes of the chord. This one, then this one, and then this one. Okay, so your job is to recreate what I've done. You can come back, of course, to the video anytime you like to watch what I've done, and that should help you create your jazzy backing. Good luck.